What was the most bizarre thing that happens? Because there's a lot of funny episodes and stuff. What's the most bizarre thing?
I think the most bizarre thing was what just happened to me one particular day. It was in North Carolina. And it was a beautiful, beautiful fall day. It was around the time of the primaries, which were eventually to lead to the election that Obama won his first term. And it was just before Halloween, and there were the Smoky Mountains and the Blue Ridge Mountains. We were going ballooning from Asheville, which is a beautiful, beautiful town, and I'm sure you know it's in North Carolina. It's one of the most stunningly, it's sort of not branded with a Starbucks in every corner, and it's got that incredible Biltmore house, the largest private house in the world, when it was built. We rose in this balloon, and I was plucking maple leaves, bright red and bright orange maple leaves from the trees, and we were going higher and higher, and the view was absolutely stunning. And it was a crystal clear day. It was absolutely fabulous. And one of our spare drivers was driving the cab below, trying to find out where we were when we dropped, so we wouldn't be too far. And we dropped in a garden of a typically hospitable person in North Carolina who had us all come in for eggnog and the sort of thing. And it was very charmed. He didn't mind at all that this balloon had collapsed on his front yard. And then we got in the car, and they'd been rather mysterious about this next visit, which was to cross the state line into Tennessee, and to go to Knoxville. So I was driving along in the car and said, well, we're off to Knoxville, and say to the camera, I'm not quite sure why, but the production crew are keeping things from me. And we've had the most spectacularly beautiful morning, and I can't imagine what could compare with what we've done, just being up in a balloon above this glorious, glorious fall forestry. Anyway, we arrive at this area in the university campus of Knoxville, University Go Vols of Tennessee, and there's a chain lock fence with razor wire at the top, and a lady standing in front of it, and her car, and he goes, drive up to her car. So I drive up and I get out, the camera gets out at the same time, and we meet. She goes, hi, I'm Rebecca. And I go, I've come to welcome you. I said, well, that's very nice of you. I think, well, where the hell are we? And she opens the door with the padlock, and I look at the razor wire and go, wow. And then she closes it, and then she gives me these little plastic things to put on my feet, and some latex gloves, and all the crew have to do the same. And it's sort of like a big guard, but there are these sort of odd patches that you can't quite make out what they are. And there's a little house, and there's a car, and there's some dumpsters and things like that. And it's a place that is very famous and has had huge influence on television over the last 15 years. And it's known as the Body Farm. It's the first of its kind. It's a forensic anthropology department piece of land in which people volunteer their bodies to have things done to them which help forensic science. I'll give you an example, which is, you think, well, there's the car. Well, I said, what's in the car? And they said, well, we have an individual. They're very wonderful, and they always refer to these bodies as individuals, not carcasses of bodies, but as an individual, who is wrapped in a rug and has been in the car for 2 days, and we're going to bury her in the woods. And I said, well, why are you going to do that? He said, well, a lot of murders, what happens is somebody murders someone, their wife or their husband. They don't know what the hell to do. They've been drunk. They roll them up in a rug, put them in the trunk of their car. They go off, they get drunk. 2 days later, they come to their senses. They drive off to the woods and they bury the body. And there are very specific things you can find out about that procedure and what happens to a body, how long it's been in the rug, how long it's been there. The famous Gruesome Grissom from CSI, the Billy Peterson character, who uses bugs as a kind of calendar to find out the date of birth. This was all discovered at this place, the Body Farm. In other words, a body dies and you can tell by the first flies that hatch in it exactly the date of birth. But I went in there never having seen a dead human body, and I left having seen 200 at least. Some of them in the most appalling state. I mean, some of them soup. I don't want to go into much detail. But what's the primary effect, really, is the reminder that this is what we all are, but is also just simply the smell. I said at the time, it's as if Satan himself had crawled up my nostrils and was scraping his way into my brain. I mean, it's just so awful. And we're all made of that same stuff. And I felt nothing but gratitude to the people who had volunteered their bodies. A lot of the people who worked for the university and had friends in that department. And she herself said that she was going to leave her body for that purpose.